Introduction. The labyrinth of 1,000 options. Imagine this. You are in front of your computer screen. You have 14 different tabs open. You are trying to choose something. Maybe it's a course for your career, the destination of your next vacation, or simply which brand of air fryer to buy. You've spent 2 hours reading reviews, comparing prices, searching for opinions on Reddit, analyzing the pros and cons, until the words start to lose their meaning. You feel a pressure in your chest, a knot in your stomach, and suddenly an overwhelming fatigue takes over you. You close the computer. You haven't bought anything. You haven't decided anything. You're in the same place as 2 hours ago, but now you feel exhausted, and what's worse, you feel guilty for wasting time. Does it sound familiar? Welcome to the club of those who overthink. To that waiting room called paralysis by analysis. We often tell ourselves that we are meticulous or perfectionists, but today I want to tell you something that might surprise you. That inability to decide is not a lack of willpower. You are not lazy nor inherently indecisive. What you are experiencing is a biological short circuit. In this video, we're going to open the hood of your brain. We are going to understand why your mind gets stuck when you need it to work the most, and above all, we are going to see how you can hack that system to take back control of your life. Why believe me? Clarity does not come from thinking more, but from understanding how to stop thinking. Refrain. The trap of the perfect decision. Before diving into the science, we need to break down a myth that is causing you a lot of harm. We tend to believe that the more information we have, the better our decision will be. We think that if we analyze all possible variables, we will eliminate the risk of making mistakes, but modern psychology tells us the opposite. There is something called the paradox of choice. When we have too many options, instead of feeling free, we feel paralyzed. And if we finally manage to choose, we feel less satisfied because our mind gets stuck thinking about the lost options. Analysis paralysis is not an excess of intelligence. It is a defense mechanism against regret. Your brain is so afraid of making the wrong decision that it prefers to make none. But here is the revelation. Not deciding is already a decision. It is the decision to stay where you are, stuck. Explanation of the mechanism. The brain under the microscope. What is really happening up there when you get stuck? Let's talk about two protagonists in your head. The prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. Imagine your prefrontal cortex is the CEO of a large company. It is the part responsible for logic, analysis, planning, and making complex decisions. It is an evolutionarily new and very sophisticated part, but it has a problem. It consumes a lot of energy. It's like an old phone battery that drains quickly. On the other hand, you have the amygdala, which is your emotional center, your smoke detector. Its job is to keep you safe. When you face a decision that you perceive as crucial, even if it's just choosing a paint color for the living room, your amygdala activates. It starts whispering, what if you make a mistake? What if you waste your money? What if people make fun of you? At that moment, the amygdala hijacks the process. Your brain interprets indecision as a vital threat. To defend itself, the prefrontal cortex tries to compensate for the fear by analyzing more data. You start looking for more information to calm the amygdala. This is where disaster happens, cognitive exhaustion. There comes a point where your CE, or the cortex, runs out of battery. The excess of information becomes noise. The circuits overheat and the system simply shuts down. That is paralysis. This is reproducing. I can't process anymore. I give up. It is an infinite loop where fear feeds analysis and analysis feeds exhaustion. Practical strategies how to break the cycle. Now that we know this is a biological response to stress and not a defect in your personality, how do we get out of it? Here is a toolkit to regain control. 1. The 70% rule inspired by Jeff Bezos. Embrace this mantra. A decision made today with 70% of the information is usually better than a decision made in 3 weeks with 90% of the information. By the time you get that extra 20%, the world has changed or you have missed the opportunity. If you have most of the data, flip the coin. Trust your ability to adjust the course later. 2. Set a time budget for decisions. Not all decisions deserve the same energy expenditure. Follow the 2-2-2 rule. If the decision won't matter in 2 hours, for example, what to have for dinner, decide in 2 minutes. If it won't matter in 2 months, take 2 hours at most. If it's something that will define your next 2 years, give yourself a couple of days, but set an unmovable deadline. 3. Limit your input options. If you're going to buy something, don't look at 50 options. Choose the top 3 based on a single criterion, for example, price or proximity, and eliminate the rest. Reducing the menu reduces the cognitive load on your prefrontal cortex. Less is literally more peace of mind. 4. Practice satisfaction instead of optimization. In psychology, there are 2 types of people. Maximizers who seek the absolute best option, and satisficers who look for an option that meets their minimum criteria. Maximizers tend to make better objective decisions, but they are much more unhappy. Satisficers decide quickly, meet their goal, and move on. Learn to say, "This is good enough." It's a liberating phrase. Warnings and caveats. Not all brains work the same. It is important to pause here. If you feel that this analysis paralysis is not occasional, but something that governs every minute of your life, there may be other factors at play. T. D. A. H. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. People with T. A. H. They often struggle with executive dysfunction. It's not that they overthink. Their brain struggles to prioritize what information is important and what is noise. Highly sensitive people, peace. If you are peace, your nervous system processes information more deeply. It's natural for you to take longer to decide because you're perceiving subtleties that others ignore. Your process is slower, but not necessarily wrong. Generalized anxiety. Sometimes paralysis is a symptom of clinical anxiety. If the fear of error causes panic attacks or constant insomnia, the solution is not just a time management technique but the support of a mental health professional. Psychological support. Be kind to yourself. Before finishing, I want to tell you something you probably don't say to yourself enough. It's okay to make mistakes. Much of your paralysis comes from fierce self-demand. You treat yourself as if you were an algorithm that cannot afford a calculation error. But you are a human being. Most decisions in life are reversible. You can change careers, return that product, or apologize if you use the wrong words. The only thing you can't get back is the time you spent paralyzed by fear. Forgive yourself for the times you got stuck. Your brain was just trying to protect you, even if it did so a bit clumsily. Tomorrow you will have a new opportunity to decide, and this time you will do it with less weight in your backpack. Closure and call to action. In summary, paralysis by analysis is not a problem of lack of data. It is an emotional management problem. Your brain gets overwhelmed when the fear of choosing poorly outweighs your confidence to handle the consequences. Remember, your mental energy is limited. Don't spend it all on trivial decisions. Look for good enough, not perfect. Trust your future self to fix any small mistake you make today. I would love to know, what is that decision you've been postponing for weeks? Tell me about it in the comments. Sometimes just writing it down and getting it out of your head is the first step to unlocking the prefrontal cortex. If this video has helped you understand a little better the chaos you sometimes feel inside, I invite you to subscribe and share this with that friend who never knows what to order at the restaurant. Placeholder. If you want to delve deeper into how to manage your mental energy, I leave you here a downloadable guide with 5 thought-stopping exercises for those days of a lot of mental noise. Find it in the link in the description. And if you're interested in learning more about how your personality influences your career, don't miss this other video about the psychology of polymaths and why it's hard for you to choose just one passion. Thank you for being here, for listening to yourself, and for wanting to understand yourself. See you in the next video.